Welcome back to Bangkok ChitChat. Today we've got the Pattaya Report with Craig McAvenue. So let's just get straight into it. So Craig, how are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty well, thank you. Been doing a bit of travelling recently.
I went on. Totally ecstatic.
I sound ecstatic, do I? Well, maybe a little bit tired, because funny enough, although I'm doing the Pattaya Report, I actually am based in Bangkok for today's call because I had to drive up early this morning. So maybe I'm feeling a little bit tired because of the drive. But other than that, I'm pretty good, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm great, fine, very good. So we'll get right into it. I'll just give the quick summary of the COVID for Pattaya from yesterday, which was the 16th. There was 162 new confirmed cases in Chonburi, and 145 recovered and were released from medical care, and no deaths. 2,381 people are still in medical care or supervision. So this basically, I think we're trying to find out, how's Pattaya getting on with regards to recovery?
I mean, what I'm hearing, those numbers, certainly sound a lot more positive than what we've heard in previous reports, and the situation all across Thailand is getting better. I believe Pattaya is on the same footing as, a Bangkok or a Phuket. And I think I saw something which suggested that 85% of people in Pattaya and its surrounds have been vaccinated. So with an 85% vaccination rate and those numbers you mentioned before being relatively low, and presumably, is that Pattaya or is that Chonburi, those numbers?
That's Chonburi. So Pattaya itself will actually be less. But what I also saw is, for example, today, which is the 17th, we're down to about 5,500 yesterday, as opposed to where it was sort of 6,800 up to 7,500 last week. So there seems to be more control. And what I'm sort of impressed with, and what we'll get on to in regards to Pattaya, is that with things opening up since November 1st in Bangkok, or these blue zones, which Pattaya is not one, there hasn't been any drastic, there hasn't been any real increase from what I see. So things seem to be in control, because from the foreigners' point of view coming in the last show, there was only maybe in the 20s that actually had it, and basically they were checked at the airport and they were caught, of those caught. But you've had 44,000 people arrive in Thailand over the past, since November 1st. So comes back to this, not demonstration, this big push. There's complaints in Chonburi to the governor, and they put a petition in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Basically, the bar owners are complaining that I think it's a CCSA, which basically controls the COVID agreement, that they're saying, well, no, Pattaya, you cannot open. And then they told, what I understand, they told everybody there was, let's say, they said maybe, let's make this clear, it was maybe, December 1st, they were supposed to be opening,
I think end of the month, end of November is when they're having another meeting, when they're trying to get this, as you say, Pattaya moved to the same status as a Phuket and a Bangkok and Krabi, I believe. And everything you say is right there. As you say, it's the CCSA who are effectively the ones that make the decisions, and they're saying that because it's not in the same zone, it's still whatever color it is, you're not allowed to open the bars. And then the mayor and the governor of Chonburi, by all accounts, are on the same side as the bar owners and wanting things to open up, but ultimately the decision lies with the CCSA. And as you said, the petition, which I believe was signed by 400 bar owners, has been lodged with the Chonburi governor, with the mayor of Pattaya, and with the and they will then pass this on to the CCSA for consideration at their meeting at the end of November. And it doesn't make any sense to me, not just obviously as a Pattaya person. It seems like they are being treated extremely unfairly because, as you said, the numbers, and in fact, if anything, the numbers are worse in somewhere like Bangkok, and the vaccination rates are there. And certainly a lot of bar owners and restaurant owners have gone to a lot of trouble to make sure that all of their staff have been vaccinated. Once again, additional costs that they've been outlaying, and having the opportunity to be open for December and January is enormous, because it's the busiest season, it's the high season. Like was mentioned when I just watched a video on this petition, as they were saying to the mayor, they were saying this is not just about bars. You know, every other industry in Pattaya is affected by this, because you're getting less people there. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something where one, I think they had an entertainment venue, they brought in 187 people because this is why I said suspected, it was said it was December 1st it would open up, yeah, for Pattaya. And he was complaining, you know, now I have to send these people home again. Yeah. So this is ridiculous. But my point is that they jumped the gun. They never said it was going to happen. They just said, this is what we're looking at. And then they changed it now to, I think it's January 15th, where they say they're, and that could change again. Yeah. But it's the uncertainty, and also where they give the decision at the last minute. So they may say, you know, 2 or 3 days before December 1st. How can you open December 1st if you're given 3 days notice? Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the dilemma, isn't it? You know, I mean, you say about people preparing, you know, is jumping the gun a little bit, but at the same time, if they don't prepare and then the bars and restaurants open up, then they're missing out on valuable revenue when you're going to get a big push of customers and people coming in. It's not fair. I mean, I think that the thing to do really is you know, all of these meetings that go on between the CCSA and the governors and the mayors and that, I think all media should be closed, you know, until they have an official announcement, because, you know, it really does make people, I know the world we live in, that's never going to happen. There's always going to be some sort of leaked information, and then the Chinese whispers and the social media and everything, you know, blow these things up. I mean, that's happened on many aspects of the whole COVID situation, hasn't it, from day one?
Yeah. What is open down there? Are restaurants allowed to serve, like in Bangkok, you get an SHA certificate or SHA plus certificate, and restaurants can supply, and they can supply, but they can sell alcohol up to 9 p.m. Is that available down in Pattaya, or is it totally an alcohol ban, except for 7-Eleven?
Yeah, the alcohol is still banned. So selling alcohol in restaurants is still banned. Of course, another huge frustration is, as we know, that it goes on, and so there, you know, restaurant and bar owners have to, you know, decide whether they want to take a risk, or whether they want to, whether they're, you know, they're in the right group, if you like, that can get away with it or not.
Okay, so what you've got now, you've got some positive things, but it relates back to the alcohol as well. You've got Loy Krathong coming up on Friday, yeah, and you got loads of events, you know, rolling events for the tourists who are going to be supposed to be watching that, drinking milk, yeah.
Well, the thing is, they can bring their own beer by all accounts. I mean, I wasn't there, but I mean, they had the Pattaya Music Festival either last week or the week before, and that was busy. People were enjoying a drink, no problem, but they just weren't allowed to buy it from, you know, from vendors there. They had to go and buy it from the supermarket. And presumably the fireworks festival, which is probably the other event you were alluding to there, that's happening at the end of this month. I think it's the last weekend of November. And presumably it will be the same situation where people will be watching the fireworks, enjoying a beer, but that beer would have been bought from 7-Eleven. I don't know how, you know, whether the hotels, the 5-star hotels, like people that are into their fireworks will probably pay for you know, to go somewhere like the Hilton where they've got a nice view. Whether alcohol is served there, I really don't know. I think legally speaking, it wouldn't be allowed.
On the festival, on the Loy Krathong festival, I saw in the newspaper, which is good, they're saying again, people don't use plastics. So this environmental thing after COP26, that's part of the reason I'm sort of saying it. Yeah, every year we get this: don't use plastic krathongs, which is basically the floating, decorative floating thing with a candle in it, which Loy Krathong is all about giving respect back to the water. Yeah. Hang on, yeah. So it's respect back to the water spirit. Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's really it. Okay, just to confirm. So they're encouraging people to use like banana sliced banana to put their stuff on and float it. Yeah? But the big problem you've got within Pattaya, and they're actively dealing with it, which is good. They're preparing for it, is the cleanup afterwards. Yeah? So there'll be all these jet skis, which are probably not broken at the time they use it, but broken when the tourist gets on them, after the tourist gets on them. Yeah. They'll be going out collecting all the floating katongs, yeah, going out into the sea. Yeah. So that's great. I saw some information on that. And we get the same recommendations in Bangkok. Obviously, we're not at the sea, yeah, but all the canals and things. And even for my family, we have something out in the garden and a pond that we've got, so which is fantastic.
Yeah, also, that sounds a good incentive for sure. I mean, as you say, I mean, the plastic situation is chronic, as we know, globally. But when I mentioned going on my little holiday recently, it was a beautiful island I went to, generally called Koh Palau, which is just off the Ranong coast. But even then, in the morning there was a clear up. I'm up early. You're looking there, and even on that beautiful island, unfortunately, the landscape is littered with plastics first thing when the tide pushes it in. So yeah, I mean that's certainly a good incentive. I mean, I don't think people generally tend to sort of travel for Loy Krathong, do they? I mean, it tends to be more something they do in their home place.
Well, it depends. I mean, a lot of people, if you look at Bangkok, the nearest thing they've got to water is probably either a canal or a swimming pool. So yeah, a lot of people normally go down to the river in Bangkok and see that, because it is a fantastic sight. All these little candles floating.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, but again, it comes back to the point of when you have these, entertainment situations, you're talking about social distancing, and there's all this promotion. My fear is that a tourist going to come here and say, well, actually, I came here to relax, not to have any restrictions, and I can't even have a glass of wine with my meal, in Pattaya, So why would they want to go there? So you're right. If it was an option, if it was me, I would probably, if that's what I want to do, I would go down to Phuket, and go there. But the nightlife, as in the famous Pattaya nightlife, is I think that's what it seems to be fixing their mind to, is, they're starting that again. Yeah. But as you were mentioning off camera before, these bars and pubs just cannot survive because a lot of the landlords are not giving any respite, and a lot of these guys, their home is their bar. They live above.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying to you just off camera before. I mean, in my line of work, I had clients come and see me, and I work with sort of pensions and that type of thing, and a lot of these chaps probably wouldn't have been looking to dip into their pensions as of yet. But of course, the circumstances that have come along when they have owned restaurants or bars, and often these bars have got guest rooms above them, that's their livelihood. Suddenly, they're not getting any help from their landlord or their landlady. You could be talking 30,000-40,000 baht a month for these places. Pretty much, you're talking 2 years. That's 700,000-800,000 baht of income that they would have normally earned, at least, plus what they've got to make. Sorry, that's a cost, isn't it? And then whatever they've got to make on top of that to make a living, which they just haven't had, with no support. And like one chap was saying to me, it's all well and good saying that my business is stopped because of the restrictions that are in place, but this is my home as well. So people are losing their businesses and losing their homes. And as you said, the worst thing is that something leaks out, you get a bit of hope, and as you said, then what have you got to do? You then got to spend more money to get yourself ready, and then that's taken away from you again, and so that's cost you more money when you don't have any. And it just seems to be, as you say, it seems to be a bit targeted to me. It's almost like these people are being punished without due reason.
Maybe it's a strategy to change this atmosphere and get rid of the little places and make it into, as they were saying, for the rich and families, and they're just going to push push. This is an opportunity to push these businesses out of business.
I mean, that would be very cruel if that's the case. I mean, you know,
how is general sentiment outside the pub business? But obviously, restaurants and pubs are the core for Pattaya. Yeah, but is there what general sentiment do you feel, even in Pattaya or around the country? How do you feel, just in general? In general, do you think there's a more positive feeling, more positive than before, or do you think it's really gone down?
I think the schools went back, didn't they? I mean, I know that my son's school went back after their half term, which was an international school, and therefore, you know, being able to put you know, things in place so that you know, having tests and that type of thing is something that can be achieved with a school like that. Clearly, doing that with a local larger school wouldn't be as feasible. But I do believe the schools have gone back, so that's important. Clearly, you know, once again, in my opinion, schools have been closed for too long. So I'm sure there's a few parents out there who are, you know, feeling that things are getting better and a bit more positive. They can finally send their kids off to school instead of running around and causing mayhem in their house every day. But I think, you know, the sort of scene I'm involved in, you know, where my office is in central Pattaya, and clients of mine, you know, they are still, you know, they're really looking forward to being able to go out and you know, have a drink. And obviously with Christmas and New Year historically being times that us Westerners, you know, go and indulge a bit more. It's a shame that we don't have that option this year.
For anyone who's watching this overseas, if you want to come to Thailand, it is not all that difficult if you're double vaccinated. However, what I just saw, I don't know whether you saw this, Craig, but Scoot from Singapore are opening an offer where you can travel from the UK Gatwick, yeah, to Thailand for £170 one way, yeah. So yeah, obviously that's going to be 340 quid, yeah, return, yeah. Now no frills, yeah. So I'm not sure. You better take some cash with you because you're going to have some crisps and water and things like that, you know, or you're just going to be sitting there. But if you want to go for Buddhism or learn Buddhism, it's perfect. Just meditate all the way for 14 hours.
Yeah.
So, but that's really cheap, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some surprisingly good deals that I've heard people have actually got. I think we all know that sometimes when you see the strap line about a price or a deal, and then once you actually dig into it, it's not always as easy to get as it may seem. But I have spoken to people who've got some very good deals with flights recently, which, you know, you would have thought wouldn't be the case, given that there's less supply, etc. But yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, as you say, I suppose you can come for a couple of weeks just to get away at that price that would maybe entice that market. They could always go to Phuket, as you say, which is easy enough, and have a holiday.
It's worthwhile to go to the blue zones just now, and hopefully Pattaya will be raised to that blue zone, or it's the province Chonburi, yeah. So basically, there's a lot more things to do, and there's an atmosphere, never mind anything else, when they arrive. But otherwise, if you're looking for sedate, peaceful, you can still drink alcohol, but not in locations. If you don't mind that, which personally I don't mind, just I'm quite happy. Then Thailand's ideal. But for Pattaya, I hope they do open up the entertainment venues, just like they've opened up the movie theaters. Yeah, you know, if you had you've got the Katai show down in Pattaya, which is famous. Yeah, if that could open up, that's great. You know, it's a scenic place to go to, or scenic, I'm not sure, but a place to go to for entertainment. But do you actually think Pattaya will become what it was again, or no? I think that's gone.
Yeah, I think I mean, it'll be a slow process, but no, I mean, I still believe that you know, Pattaya has a lot to offer. I mean, the region itself, the Eastern Seaboard region, is a developing one, both in terms of you know, business and sort of wider tourism, and so infrastructure's going in there. Talk about building the the bullet train and having more flights from Utapao and this type of thing. So no, I mean, and ultimately the infrastructure is there, for the bars and the restaurants. So I do think it will recover. It's just, of course, like everything, I guess.
Style as before. I mean, with all the bars, go-go bars everywhere. Or you think they'll take the opportunity to sort of implement things to do with zoning? And maybe what they're trying to do is push things a bit faster. So a lot of bars go out of business, or
Well, you mentioned that before. I mean, that seems a rather cool tactic, but perhaps. But yeah, no, I think as we
changed as well. Yeah, I mean,
that I think that is something which has been discussed for a while, and that's fine. I mean, having, as you said, the beach road a bit more family orientated and using the beachfront there. And perhaps Walking Street being a thing of the past is something that we deal with, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, let's hope it's a good thing and things move on. But the actual entertainment industry itself, there's still going to be plenty of places to pick that up. It's just that, as you asked before about, do I think it will come back? I clearly think it will come back, but of course the longer that it's down for, the longer it will probably take to rise again. But
one thing I'll say, but we stayed at the Santara, which basically is fantastic for kids. It's not on the beach road. It's what's the other? It's Banglamung. It's the other section around near the roundabout.
Yeah, it's Nakula, I think, isn't it?
Okay. So stayed there, and that was fantastic for kids. Yeah, we had our nephews there, and they had a great time. So there's certainly lots to do even now. But for the adult entertainment, let's say, for going to bars and things like that, it's very limited. But there's still stuff that is open. Yeah.
The problem they have here, and this is sort of, I can relate to this from Hua Hin. And I was down there on 2 separate occasions over the course of the last month, once on business and once on a holiday. And when I was down there on business, I met a client of mine at one of the 5-star hotels, which has, a nice outdoor area and everything. And we were able to enjoy a beer, out of a bottle without trying to hide it, no problem, whilst we had our meeting and discussions. So when I went back with my wife on a holiday, we booked into another 5-star hotel, which was, very close to this 5-star hotel. I went down assuming it would be the same. Obviously, never assume in Thailand. Complete no, can't get a beer here. And anyone that is even looking to, I know it sounds like we're talking only about alcohol on this show, but the thing is that, of course, even if you are someone who's content staying in one of these hotels, these resorts, having your sundowner pina colada and that type of thing is something that you probably enjoy. And if you go to these hotels, you don't know if they're going to be able to break the rules or not. And if you ask them, they're obviously going to say no, regardless of whether the answer is yes, because they can't put anything in writing and they don't know whether it's somebody trying to stitch them up or whatever it might be. So those sort of things are the really frustrating things. I think more than anything is like, and the powers that be clearly know it's going on. It's not like they're oblivious to it.
That's where you assist in letting things run smoother. Yeah, but I must admit, I think generally the sentiment is things are very, very slowly feeling a little bit more positive outside the entertainment area. I don't mean regards to Pattaya. I'm talking about in Bangkok. What I experience is more positiveness around. I feel there's more events beginning to open. I know some of the chambers are having some events just now. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's a false economy. I'm not sure. So is there anything else from Pattaya? Any good news? No.
Well, the good news is that with this big meeting that's happening at the end of the month, that apparently the mayor of Pattaya, who of course is going to be is on the side of the people of the business owners in Pattaya, is positive that there'll be a positive outcome. So let's hope that is the case, and let's hope, as you say, you can turn the switch back on, and as of the beginning of December, the restaurants can open again. But anyway, I mean, that, as you say, it is what it is. And, I think that generally speaking, they've done a good job with their vaccinations here in Pattaya, as they seem to have in Bangkok. I only managed to get my second dose a couple of weeks ago because I had AstraZeneca and I had the large gap in between them. And once again, the process was fantastically well organized. And, within a couple of days, I've had all my certificates and my links and everything I need.
All right, listen, thanks very much, Craig, for joining us and giving us an update from your perspective. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe. Please comment. Any thoughts, questions, pass them back to us. And if you have any suggestions for some updates you would like to hear, please contact us. So thank you very much, and we'll see you for the Hua Hin report next. See you later.
Cheers. See you later.